Alright guys, I am back with my review of WWE Monday Night Raw for December 30th, 2013. I really have to move this couch back, it's driving me nuts. But anyways, let me explain where I've been, because there seems to be some confusion on the Facebook page. So, I went to California for Christmas. I was there until New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve, I flew back to North Carolina. New Year's Day, I was still in North Carolina, and the day after, I drove to Texas. And I was there for a few days, and then I drove back to North Carolina yesterday. So, I'm going to catch up on all these shows I've missed. School starts back on Monday, so I want to get everything done this weekend. But that's where I've been, and I took a lot of footage of my trip to California and my trip to Texas and back. And I'm going to piece all of that together and upload that for you guys. But anyways, on to Raw. CM Punk comes out, and he says that 2013 was the year of the Shield. The Shield comes out, he says he wants to face one of them one-on-one, and he effectively buries Ambrose at the same time, saying he beat Ambrose like half a dozen times or something like that, and he wants to face Roman Reigns or Seth Rollins. So Brad Maddox comes out and he says that tonight it's going to be Punk versus Rollins. And they had a good match. They got a lot of time, and I enjoyed this one. There was a couple of botches, I think, though, but it was still a good match. And Rollins thinks he has Punk beat, but the ref is distracted by the Shield. So Rollins gets pissed off, he goes over and starts yelling at the Shield, and then Punk hits him with the GTS for the win. But that doesn't really make sense because, yeah, the Shield was distracting the referee, but if Ambrose didn't jump on the apron, Punk would have just hit Rollins with the GTS earlier and just beat him anyway. So it doesn't even matter. But they're trying to build up this whole thing where the Shield is falling apart, there's cracks in the Shield, and they're going to break up soon. So Brad Maddox is talking to the Authority backstage, and Daniel Bryan comes up, and he says he wants to face Bray Wyatt. And Maddox tells him that he's going to have to defeat Luke Harper, then Eric Rowan, then he can face Bray Wyatt. But why was Kane's mask in a glass box? It was just sitting there behind them. It was so bizarre. But yeah, then we get... Oh, Stephanie McMahon comes out, and she plays a little video of Randy Orton's career and says that the main event of the Royal Rumble will be John Cena versus Randy Orton. And then we get Dolph Ziggler versus Curtis Axel. And this was pretty short, but these two guys, they tried to put on a good match. You know they went out there knowing that no one really cares about this match, but they tried to put on a good match. And I thought it was decent. Dolph hits the zigzag for the win, so at least Dolph went over here, but I just heard that poor son of a bitch got another concussion. I mean, God, he's got bad luck. It's Fandango versus Big E Langston for the Intercontinental title. Fandango won a title shot by winning the Present on a Pole match against Dolph Ziggler. And I thought it was a decent match. It was really all Big E, though. Big E just beat the crap out of Fandango. The only time Fandango was getting any offense was when he was trying to work the leg. So Big E just destroys Fandango here, hits the big ending for the win, and then Booker T comes out with some wrestlers and divas, and he says he wants to end the year with a spin-a-rooney. And Bad News Barrett rises up on this huge podium. He does his Bad News Barrett thing, and it was pretty bad. Then Damien Sandow is backstage with Renee Young, and he says that he doesn't care who his opponent is tonight. If he doesn't win, he quits. So the fans could vote for Damien Sandow's opponent. And you had Kofi Kingston, the Great Khali, and The Miz. And the fans voted for the Great Khali. So we get Sandow versus Khali. It got way too much time. Sandow worked the leg, and then he rolled Khali up for the win. The finish was botched, so I assume they probably did this again. But yeah, Sandow won the match. So it's R-Truth versus Brodus Clay with Xavier Woods on commentary. And Brodus is just beating the crap out of R-Truth. So Xavier Woods stands on the announce table and distracts Brodus. The Funkadactyls come out, and R-Truth hits the little Jimmy for the win. How is this a feud? I mean, there's really nowhere to go from here. They've been screwing with the guy every week. They've taken everything from him, and they keep beating him in all the matches. So there's nowhere to go. I mean, the babyfaces have clearly won this fight. The only thing I can see them doing with Brodus is maybe they use this to cause him to snap and turn into a huge monster and he destroys the babyfaces, but I really don't see that happening because where does that leave the Funkadactyls? They put the Funkadactyls with R-Truth and Xavier Woods, and where else would they go? I mean, who else could they put them with? So they're kind of stuck, and because they're really high on the Funkadactyls because of Total Divas and everything, I think Brodus Clay is just screwed. You know, thinking a little more about the Funkadactyls, where do they go with these girls? I mean, the only reason they're involved in this is because they're feuding with Brodus Clay, but once Brodus is out of the equation, what happens to him? But anyways, Triple H comes out and he says he's bringing back Brock Lesnar. So Brock comes out with Paul Heyman, and well, Heyman says that Brock wants to go after the WWE World Heavyweight title, and then Brock cuts a promo that it was a Brock Lesnar promo. It was about 30 seconds long and still had a botch. But anyways, he says the line for the title starts behind him, and he dares anybody to come out here and do something about it. And Mark Henry comes out, and they brawl around a little. Brock spears him through the barricade, and then he just starts screaming, and then he F5s him on the floor. That was it. Then he walks off. Shit was awesome. Well, we get a 10 Divas tag match. The usual girls here. Oksana beats one of the Bellas, I think, with an elbow to the back of the head. And the only interesting thing I can think of to talk about for this match is the fact that Kaitlyn just quit the WWE. She was fed up. They weren't really doing anything with her and left, so maybe she'll go to TNA. I don't know, but TNA definitely could use some new knockouts. Alright, so the main event is Daniel Bryan versus the Wyatt family. If he can beat Luke Harper and Eric Rowan, he gets a shot at Bray Wyatt. So they start with Luke Harper versus Daniel Bryan, which was a good match. I really liked this. It got a lot of time. You would think, well, Daniel Bryan's going to beat Harper really fast, then he's going to beat Rowan really fast, and then he's going to face off against Bray Wyatt. But he wrestled Luke Harper for a very long time. Harper destroyed Daniel Bryan. Bryan hits the flying knee for the win. Rowan runs in, just beats him down even more. And Daniel Bryan gets him in a small package for the win. Then it's down to Bray Wyatt versus Daniel Bryan. And it doesn't happen because Luke Harper and Eric Rowan beat down Daniel Bryan. They don't let the match take place. And Bray Wyatt's cutting his promo at the end saying it could have been different. Same thing he's been saying for weeks now. And Daniel Bryan says, "You're right. Doesn't matter how loud the fans cheer for me or how many matches I win. The machine won't let me win. They don't care." And he crawls up Bray Wyatt's body, which was a little weird. And then Bray Wyatt hits him with the Sister Abigail, and they carry him out. And he's walking up the ramp, and then he stops and he looks at the fans and he's like, and then he just leaves with the Wyatts. And that was the end of Raw. I thought this was good shit, man. I like this. And it makes a lot of sense. The machine doesn't care, and if Bray Wyatt helps Daniel Bryan destroy the machine, then why wouldn't he join him? So yeah, he joined the Wyatt family here. I was very surprised. However, I don't think it's going to last. I think Daniel Bryan is trying to outsmart the Wyatts. He knows he can't defeat them, and they're just going to keep attacking him. So he had to outsmart him, and I think that's what's going on here. I really don't think WWE is dumb enough to turn Daniel Bryan heel. At least I hope not. So my prediction is that this is all a trick Daniel Bryan is pulling on the Wyatt family. But I did like Raw. This was a good show. Had some really good stuff here. Some good matches. Brock Lesnar returned and killed Mark Henry. Had some bad matches too, but I feel like the good definitely outweighed the bad on this show. So anyways, that's my review. Hope you guys liked the video. Leave your thoughts on the show in the comments, and thanks for watching.